Hey everybody, it's Mr. Mansager here, and I'm going to show you how to design your protractor in Illustrator. So, to get started, the first thing we have to do is find Illustrator and open it up. So it's this orange app right here. Notice I've created some stuff already in Illustrator, but what you're going to do is click on the new. I'm going to make a new document. And what we're going to do is going to give it a title. Let's just call it Protractor. You can call it whatever you want. And the main thing you need to do in here is set the dimensions of your document. So we're going to end up printing this, so we need to know exactly, we need to measure exactly how big it's going to be. So for now, we are going to make the width be 8 inches and the height 4 inches. Now some of you might have like a round protractor. We might actually make the height, we might make it 8 by 8. But for the purposes of this, let's just create one that has 8 and 4 and make sure that the units of measurement is set to inches, because like I said, this is going to print and we need to know how big it's going to be. So once you create it, you're going to see an artboard here. So mine is pretty big. Get this out of here. And let's get that out of here. Okay, so I have this really big artboard. You can look on the left over here, you have all these tools. Don't get overwhelmed by the amount of tools. We're only going to be using a few of the ones today. But you can zoom in or out. If you have the little eyeglass here and you click, notice it has the plus and you zoom in. If you want to zoom out, hold down the Option key or the Alt key on a Windows keyboard. And see how it turns minus? Now I can click out and it gets smaller. So this is a good size for me. You also have above the eyeglass, the magnifying glass, you have this hand tool. You click the hand tool, you can actually bring it and reposition the canvas wherever you want by clicking and dragging. So we have our canvas, and the first thing you need to do is draw a shape. So there's this tool right here. It's called this shape tool. So right now, if I hover over it, it says rectangle. But if you notice, it has a little flyout, little triangle in the bottom right. If I click and hold down on it, you get a whole bunch of other options for shapes. And what we're going to do first is draw an ellipse. Alright, so I click and drag, notice it changes the look of this to an ellipse. And with that tool selected, I'm going to come out to my canvas and I'm going to click and I'm going to hold and pull it out. So if you want to keep it, the aspect ratio set to a circle, if I hold down the Shift key, notice it locks it in. And it's going to hold it. So I'm holding down the Shift key right now. If I let it go, I can sort of make it any sort of shape. So for now, I'm just going to keep it a straight up circle. I'm going to let go. And there I have my first shape. Awesome. Now, a shape has two components to it. It has a stroke and a fill. For laser cutting, we need to focus on the stroke because that's what's going to tell the laser cutter where to cut. Alright, so the next tool, once we've made our shape, if we want to move it around or manipulate it, there's another tool we need to use at the very top. You have this black kind of triangle. It's called the selection tool. So I'm going to click on the selection tool and come out here, and I'm going to click somewhere off the canvas. Notice it's not selected anymore. If I want to select this circle, I have to go over top it. See how I get that little highlight? And I click on it. And then you'll see these handles. And that means that this shape is now selected. And if you look in the upper left up here, you notice it says stroke, 1 point. That's the width of the stroke. And you also have these two boxes. The first box is the fill. So right now my fill is set to the color white. Notice my background is also white, so I really don't see the fill. But if I click on that and I see all these other swatches, notice if I click a different color, it changes the fill. For our purposes, we don't want a fill. We don't need a fill. We're just cutting. So I'm going to set this all the way to the left. You see where it says none, that little red slash. And now my shape here has no fill. But it does have a stroke, and we want to keep the stroke. And the one next to this shape right here, that's my stroke. So if I didn't want a stroke, I could do the same thing and set it to none. But now you just see the outline, but you're not going to see anything if I click off it. I'm going to actually set my stroke back to black. All right. So I'll explain later how we set this to make sure the laser cutter knows to cut it. But the important thing to know is that you need to have your stroke turned on and your fill turned off. So we have our circle here. That's great. I can click it. I can move it around. If I want to make it bigger or smaller, I select it. And I can click and drag from the sides and reposition it and do all sorts of fun things with it. All right. Now, we're going to draw one more shape. I'm actually going to go above the shape tool and I'm going to go to the line tool. Okay, so I'm going to click on the line. If I hold it down, I have some options here. I have the arc, spiral. It looks cool. I'm not going to try that now. But I'm going to stay on the line segment. I'm going to click and hold. And notice now I'm drawing a line. I let go. There's my line. Now, lines only have strokes. They don't even have a fill. So let me change my fill here to another color. You won't even see any difference because lines are pure strokes. So I'm going to set that back to 0. Now, I have two shapes on my canvas here. I have a line and I have a circle. In the next video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about layers, and I'm going to start showing you how you can start making some other shapes that will help you with your protractor. But for now, play around with these things and have some fun. Bye!